How's it going, my fellow Cowfishians? This is the next 5-minute, more or less, review of a game called Pathway. Pathway was released the April 11th, 2019. So as of the recording of this video, it was released about 3 weeks ago. Developer is Robotality, and publisher is Chucklefish. So this game is as what the popular user defined tags is, pixel graphics, RPG, turn-based game set in the 30s, I believe. Yeah, set in the 1930s. So it is a turn-based. So what you do is you go into the level, you move, and then your enemy moves. And then you move, and then your enemy moves, and so on and so forth. And so basically the game, the way I heard it described when it was first released, was Indiana Jones type of game where you run around finding treasure and basically trying to do a main mission. So I think the first main mission is go and save your friend. So you just go and save your friend. And the reviews for this game is mixed. I'm not really entirely sure why. I definitely don't agree with it, and I'll tell you why. The game is just pretty cool for me. Here are the things that I ran into the game while playing it. So basically, for me, it took 19 hours total to finish the entire game. And this is what I ran into. So whenever I wanted to put the game in full screen, it just didn't work. For whatever reason, the cursor would just disappear. I would not be surprised if by the time you see this video, that problem would be fixed. But I would put the game on full screen and my cursor would disappear. You wouldn't be able to see it, and you have to see it in order to be able to click on stuff. So I just had to leave it in windowed mode. And like that, it would just be fine. Another problem that I didn't like about the game is when you do the mission, you are told to go to a specific spot. So when you go to that specific spot, it's basically the same thing as everything else. So to give you an emphasis, so you start, let's say, all the way to the right side, and you have a car, and that car has gas, and you have to get all the way to the left side. So let's say you're 20 tiles away from the actual mission, and your gas in your car only has enough gas to go 10 squares to the left, but you're still missing another 10. So basically you have to play the game. You have gas and bullets, so if you run out of bullets during your fights, obviously you're gonna have a problem. And if you run out of gas, you can still continue playing the game to go and find more gas, but the problem is that every time you move, your heroes end up taking damage. So you have to find gas, you have to find bullets for your guns, and you land on tiles, and not every single tile is going to land you into a fight, or if it does, you have the choice to run away from it, or if you just want to fight them instead. So whenever you enter a fight, you have a chance of finding bullets and gas, weapons, or just money in general. And basically, those fights, the ones that you find before reaching the end goal of the said mission, there's basically not any difference. So let's say if you find 5 fights, and the 5 fights you just fight enemies, or you can also fight zombies, and you finally reach your final destination, and it's basically the same thing. You just fight more zombies, or you just fight more enemies. There is no such thing as a boss in the location where the game is telling you to go. So if you've seen one fight, you've basically seen what the final end mission of that set area is. There's no different. There's no actual boss. There's no like special things going around. Like for instance, I don't know, like more enemy spawns, or a dude that has a lot more HP than general, or that he can, you know, instead of use only 1 turn, he would use 4 turns, something like that. I just found it weird that if you basically find one fight, that's basically what the entire game is. It never changes at all. So I found that as a minor problem. For me, it was hard to understand at first, then the game was pretty easy after, meaning you play the game, and the game just, there's a ton of reading, and I definitely don't have any problem with reading, but there's also this awkward voiceover at the start and at the end of your mission, which is weird, but you know, it's fine, mainly because it's there, I guess. So that's not really the problem. The problem is when you first start, it's like, okay, what am I trying to figure out? How do I do what they want me to do? And then if you end up dying, you end up dying and you have to try again. But once you figure out what that thing is, which it took me like 30 minutes, maybe an hour to figure out exactly how to get from one spot to the other. The entire game is all that easy. This game is set to what party do you want, and when do you want to start a fight. So once you figure those 2 things out, the entire game is not that bad. The other thing that's funny about the game is you can buy more resources. So let's say if you start with 40 gas, you can increase that gas up by paying resources. So instead of only having 40 gas possible, you can have 41, 42, 43. Same thing goes for bullets. But the problem with that is they don't even let you buy that many resources. I think after you buy 5 resources of both bullets and guns, like, you can't pay for any more resources, so all that money that you've been stocking up from previous missions just sort of go to waste. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the store and buy everything I need because I'm not even in that much trouble with money anymore. So that's sort of a bad thing. The story of the game, I don't have the slightest idea. When I finished beating the game, I was just like, oh, I guess I'm done. There was like no, I think there's 5 main missions. There were no more missions after that, and it was just odd. Like, I had no idea what the story of the game was. The only thing I can think of is, again, because this was more of an Indiana Jones, is you have your party, you just run around searching things, and that's about it. Like, you can only guess what that ending that I got was. It was just like, okay, I guess I'm done, and pretty much just uninstall the game and wait till they end up updating more of the game. I have no idea. I mean, this is already a fully released game, so maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I have no idea. Because when you start the game, you have basically an in-game manual telling you everything about what everything does in the game. And again, because of all the reading, it's just like, oh, I guess I'll just figure it out. And because I guess I just figured it out by myself, the quote-unquote story of the game just flew over my head. I have no idea. The game does have really good music, and everything else that I have written down I've already mentioned, so I won't even mention that again. So yeah, even though the reviews for this game is mixed, I don't agree with it. I do think that the game is a little bit repetitive when it comes to its fights, and not that hard once you figure out how to do everything. But other than that, you're definitely going to enjoy it if you enjoy turn-based games, or you know, the set era that the game is told. But yeah, I just kind of wish that they would fix a little bit more of the game when it comes to end mission fights and the story, maybe. Like, I'm just not trying to spoil anything, so yeah, it was just a little awkward when the game just sort of finished. But yeah, in 19 hours to finish the entire game, and that was probably with me messing around more than I should have. Yeah, I mean, once you pick up what the game wants you to do, it's really not that tough. So I would recommend it. I'm considering, because the game is under mixed, you might want to wait till the game is in some sort of discount. But other than that, I would definitely recommend a turn-based game for anyone that enjoys those things. So don't have much more to say other than just continuously repeat myself. So hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next one.